Hello and welcome back to Learn Piano Live. I am here with Nano. Your surgery went great. You look beautiful.
Thanks.
We can't hear you.
Thanks.
This is the version of Nano who can't remember the mute button. Try it again.
I got it this time.
You're all right. You're with us. All right. So tonight is the advanced lesson. So we're talking tonight about common chord progressions. We're going to focus on minor chord progressions and talk a little bit about some special stuff you can do in some minor songs. Don't forget, next week we're talking about the voicings and stuff. We're going to get a little bit into some voicings tonight, but next week is going to be the pop chord voicings. And the reason this is important tonight is you just want to be able to predict what chords are coming up as you're playing along with a song or with a band that you don't know the music or whatever. They don't have the music for you, and you want to be able to predict what are the next 2 or 3 chords probably going to be based on the most common chord progressions. So we already went through in the beginning and the intermediate lessons. We went through like the 1, 5, 6, 4. Hopefully you're familiar with that if you're in the advanced lesson right now. We went through the 1, 6, 4, 5. We substituted out the 2 for the 4. So we went 1, 6, 2, 5, 1 and the 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. So we did a lot of that stuff. Tonight we're going to talk about subbing in the 6 for the 1 on a turnaround, and then we're going to talk about a minor walk down as well as a minor walk up and or the minor creeping 5. So here we go. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is the 6 sub for the 1 at the end of a song. So if we've got a song that the chord progression is, let's say 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. We're in the key of C so far. By the way, if you haven't downloaded the PDF already, go ahead and do that now. So we've got, just to show you what the PDF is this week, hopefully you're already familiar with all the common chord progressions that I just went through. And then I gave you all of the chords for all of the keys. You're probably familiar with all of them except for maybe like G flat, D flat, A flat, some of those weird keys, B probably. So if you haven't practice those because you're going to run into them and you don't want to be the guy who can play really, really cool stuff as long as you're in C. You want to be the guy or gal that can play in any key. And so anyway, eventually throw in your A flat, your D flat, your B. That stuff is going to show up, and it's going to make you look like a fool if you don't know that stuff. So practice those keys, and I gave you all the chords for all the keys there. And then on the second one, on the second page of your PDF, I gave you all of the minor and major triads and all the notes for those. So that was mostly for the beginner and the intermediate, but again, a G flat minor chord might be giving you some trouble. So give you all those chords as well. All right, back to our subbing out the 6 for the 1 at the end of a song. So we're going 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5. Now, at the end of the song, of course, we're going to land on the 1. In this case, one of the common ways to repeat that last line, instead of just going 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, and then repeating the last line 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, we're going to, instead of going to the 1, we're going to go to that 6 instead. We're going to sub it out, and it's going to make the whole thing feel like it's not quite over yet. So here we go. We're going 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, 6. And then we can go 2, 5, 1. Or if we want to extend it again, we'd go 2, 5, 6. And then we can just keep doing that as many times as we want. 2, 5, 6, 2, 5, 6 until we're ready to end it, and we go 2, 5, 1. So we're subbing out the 6, then we're going 2, 5, 1, and let's try it at 80 beats per minute. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, go. This is the 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, 6, 2, 5. Let's sub it in again. 6, 2, 5. One more time. 6, 2, 5. Here we go. 1. So that's subbing out the 6 for the 1. Let's try that in the key of G this time. Same exact thing. We're going to go 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5. We're going to throw in a 6 and then loop that 2, 5, 6, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 5, 6 until we're ready to end the song and go to the 1. Here we go in the key of G. Let's try this at 90 beats per minute. So 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5. And here's our 6. And then 2, 5, 6, 2, 5, 6. This time we'll end it. 2, 5, 1. There you go. Let's try this in one more key. Let's go ahead and try the key of D. So we're going to go 1, 6, 2, 5, 3 in the key of D. F sharp minor, 6, 2, 5. Instead of going to the 1, we're going to go to the 6, and then 2, 5, 6, 2, 5, 6, until we're ready to end it. Let's try this one at 100 beats per minute. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, and here's our 6, 2, 5, 6, 2, 5, 6, 2. Let's end it here. 5, 1. There you go. So that's subbing in the 6 for the 1 at the end. Now the other thing I want to show you is going from a 5 chord to a 6 chord. It's really common to use the sharp 5 or the flat 6 as a transition from the 5 to the 6. So back to the key of C. If we've got the 1, 6, 2, 5, and we're going to go to the 6, then we can use that sharp 5 right there as a transition into that 6. 5, sharp 5, and this is a fully diminished chord, so we've got a step and a half between each of the notes, or 3 half steps from here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 takes us back to that original root. So those are our 4 notes for our fully diminished sharp 5 chord here. 5, sharp 5, 6. So we're going to try that. Let's go back down to 80 beats per minute. And we're going to go 1, 6, 2, 5, sharp 5, 6. 2, 5, sharp 5, 6. And we're just going to keep keeping that 2, 5, sharp 5, 6. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 6, 2. Let's go ahead and go right here. Again, 2, 5, sharp 5, 5, sharp 5, 6, 2, 5, sharp 5, 6. One more time. 2, 5, sharp 5, 6. This time we'll end it. 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1. Let's take it to the key of G. Exact same concept. We'll just actually run the 2, 5, 1 this time. So we're just going to go 2, 5, and then we'll sub in the 6 for the 1. This is our fully diminished sharp 5 chord in the key of G. This is E flat, fully diminished. And because there's a step and a half between each of the notes, actually the E flat fully diminished chord is the same as the C fully diminished chord. It's the same as the F sharp fully diminished chord. It's the same as the A fully diminished chord. They're the exact same chord because they're all the exact same distance apart. So they're all 3 half steps apart. From here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it doesn't matter if you start on E flat or if we take the C down here. This is now C fully diminished. If we take the A down here, then that's A fully diminished. So really there's only 3 fully diminished chords total. There's this one, which counts as 4 fully diminished chords, either C or E flat or G flat or A. And then there's this one right here, which counts for that one and that one and that one and that one. And then there's this one right here, which counts for that one and that one and that one and that one. And then by the time you get back to this one, where this is the same as the one we started with. So there's just 3 fully diminished chords that you need. In this case, we're going to go A, or I'm sorry, 2, which is A minor in the key of G, 5, sharp 5, 6, and then 2, 5, sharp 5, 6. We'll try this at 90 beats per minute. Here we go. 2, ready, go. 2, 5, sharp 5, 6. 2, 5, sharp 5, 6. 2, 5, sharp 5, 6, and then we'll end it this time 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1. All right, cool. So that is subbing in the 6 for the 1 at the end of a song if you want to turn around and repeat that last line over and over and over. Now I want to show you a minor walk down. This is really common in minor songs. So we're going to go to the key of, let's do A minor for right now, since it's going to be all white notes. And all we're going to do is take our bass line down a half step repeatedly. So we're going to have this A minor, and then we're going to take this bass line down a half step. We're going to take it down another half step again, keeping that same A minor on the top. Then down another half step, and then down another half step. And you can pretty much keep doing that until it just sounds ridiculous. So the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so are really common to use, and after that you got to start changing your one chord, your A minor in this case, to kind of fit some of the, those other notes that are going to start cramming into your one chord. But for right now, we're just going to use the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 half steps down from the A minor. So here we go. We'll try this at, let's go ahead and try this at 100, since we're in A minor. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Then go down, then down again, then down again, then down again, then down again. And then from there you could do like a 2, 5, 1 to get back to the 1 if you wanted, or you could walk back up. But that walk down is really, really common. Let's try that one in E minor this time. So we're going to be here. 1, 2, ready, play. And then down a half step. 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 Let's go back up. Then up. Then back up again. And then you're ready to start back over again. So wherever you see minor songs, ones that start out on a minor chord, you're likely to have some of that. Moonlight Sonata has some of that stuff in it, even though it changes chords with the bass movements down. It's got that, and that bass line is going, and it skips the first half step down, but then goes down to the double half step, the whole step down from the one chord. So if we're going to play that thing, in G flat minor, we can do that same thing. It's just, we're just going to keep this G flat minor chord here. This is in second inversion. That's our G flat minor, second inversion, and then we're just going to take this thing down, not to the half step, but a whole step below the root. So it would go. Then you could use that same progression. And it's not Moonlight Sonata anymore, but it's the theme from Moonlight Sonata, I guess. The other thing in the minor keys I want to show you before we get on to our feature of the day is the creep up in a minor song that you'll sometimes have. Let's go to C minor. The 5 right here can creep up a little bit by half step again, keeping this 1 in the bass. So our first option, again, back to our last creep, is a creep down from the root. And that goes all the way down from the 1 down to the 5, right? So now we're going to keep the bass the same, but we're going to start creeping up towards the 1 using this 5, which would be... And the reason this works out is because your 3 minor scales, your melodic minor scale, your harmonic minor scale, and your natural minor scale all play with the 6 and the 7 up here, right? So we've got the melodic minor that has both the raised and the lowered 6 and 7. We've got the harmonic, which plays on that lowered 6 and raised 7 in our minor keys, and then the natural that has them lowered. So this whole thing that we're doing with the creep up and the creep down and all that stuff is just kind of playing on all of those different types of scales with the notes between the 5 and the 1, since those are the ones that get altered to make our cool minor sounds. So this is a creep up, which is kind of like Secret Agent Man-ish. In fact, let's go to that. We've got this. This is in E minor, I believe. So we're going to be here. That creep up on the 5. So whenever you hear that like mystery movie kind of feel, that's usually going to be a minor chord with the 5 creeping up. And then if it's just a regular sad song where it seems like it's, instead of like shifting chords, it's kind of like maneuvering through chords and like slowly transitioning, that's usually going to be the creep down from the 1. And then you can combine them to, you know, do all kinds of other stuff. The Mission Impossible theme uses both concepts. It's all kind of based on this 7, lowered 7, 6, lowered 6, 5 thing. So we could do either one with that. Let's go to that. This is in G minor. So we're already using that 7 and the raised 7. In fact, the melody uses all of those notes there. That's our raised 7, lowered 7, 6, lowered 6, and then that 5. So it's all, again, based on messing around with those notes in between the 5 and the 1. So those are your minor songs. Now I want to show you one thing too that you can do with this any minor song, is when we have a minor song and we're going to be on the 5 that is moving to the 1, we've got this thing called the alt chord. Now the alt chord is, let's go say we're in the key of C minor. Our 5 chord is going to be the G. So we've got this, this, and this, and then to add some extensions, we would have this, 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 this. So it's called the alt chord because basically you just alter everything that you possibly can. So you know, we're going to take the 7, we're going to lower it. We're going to take the 9 here. We could lower it or raise it or both. We're going to take the 11 here. We're going to sharp the 11. We're going to take the 13 and flat the 13. So literally every possible alteration you could have in the chord. So this is our G alt chord, every alteration you could possibly have, which kind of sounds stupid that way. You know, if we had the and then we played this one, that might be a little bit much, but I want to show you a couple really cool alt chord voicings. So this layered on top of that is those notes right there. Instead of that, we're going to just leave in this one, the lowered 7, the sharp 9, if you want to call it that, or the minor 3. We're going to leave in the 3. We're going to take this one out and we're going to leave in the flat 13. So this is 7, sharp 9, 3, flat 13 with a G in the bass. Now we've got that voicing right there. So again, flat 7, sharp 9, 3, flat 13. Another way to voice this is if we take these lower 2 notes and we put them up here. So this is the exact same set of notes. We've taken out all the other alterations, but we're going 3, flat 13, 7, lowered 7, and then sharp 9. That's the other really common voicing for it. So we've got this one or both. So that's your alt chord. Another way, a quicker way to think of this instead of the 7 and the sharp 9 and the flat 13 and the 3 is to just take the 5 chord that you're going to play anyway, play the lowered 7, add in we're going to think of it as a minor 3, and then raise your 5. So you're adding in the lowered 3 and you're raising your 5. This is our major 5. That's going to be our alt chord. So if we do this in another key that maybe you're not as familiar with, let's go to the key of D. So we're playing D, all this stuff in the key of D, and we go to our 5 chord, and we want to throw in the alt chord real quick. We're going to drop this down to the 7, add in the minor 3, raise the 5, and that's our alt chord on the 5. And again, this can work on a major song. In most cases, if you use it on a major song, people who listen to it and know what they're doing and know what an alt chord is, they're going to feel like this is kind of contrived if you've thrown it in, like, oh, they must have just learned the alt chord and they want to throw it in on every 5 chord. So I would recommend you only use it in minor songs when you're on the 5 and you're going to the 1, not probably when you're on the 5 and you're going to any other chord. This doesn't work as well for like going to the 6th chord or something like that in a minor key. But 5 to the 1 in a minor key, use the alt chord. I'm going to show you how to use your MP3, and that's the time for you to send in your questions to our lovely moderator, Wendy, tonight. And so let me give you your back to the PDF. So on the right column, on the second page, you can see this. I've just given you a bunch of really common chord transitions. And so your MP3 this week is actually 13 minutes long because I played this entire chord set in the key of C and then G and then F and then A flat and then D flat. So you might want to skip ahead a few minutes until we get into the the F and the A flat and the D flat. But just practice these transitions, these chords I've given you in those keys, and then you'll see towards the bottom we get into some of that like 6 over sharp 5, 6 over 5, 6 over sharp 4 stuff that we've been talking about with the creeping down. So anyway, use those, practice those in all your keys, get familiar with them. And what are our questions tonight?
Right, our first question is from Adam. What does the minor progression usually do after it walks down?
After it walks down, well, like I said, it can go to a 2, 5, 1. So that's going to be, from here, the 1 chord, we walk down. It depends on how much time there is. Let's see. Yeah, I'd see a 2, 5, and then back to the walk down. Although you could have like, you could have like a sharp 4 to a 5 or a 2, 5, which are kind of the same move. And then sometimes, like on the really, really sad songs, they'll just keep on moving down. And like I said, change the chords as they go. So it would be much slower than this. Let me show you. Yeah, so you could keep walking down, or you could go to the 2, 5. Most of them, though, are not going to go too far past the 5 because of all those chord alterations you have to do in order to fit in those bass line movements and stuff. So, and as you can tell, like the farther down you get, the more unnatural they sound. So I think maybe I answered the question. I would bet, if you're trying to predict chords, I'd bet on a 2, 5, 1 after a walk down to a 5, or maybe a sharp 4.
All right, James wanted to know, what's the chord I always hear at the end of songs with the minor creep down progression?
I would guess the minor creep down. It'd probably just be a regular 1 chord. On the creep up, the songs that use on those songs, you're going to usually have a minor chord with a major 7. So the 1 minor major 7, or with a 9, or with a sharp 11. But for the minor creep down, I guess you could have that major 7 at the bottom of it. So it might be a minor or major 7, but again, that's going to be more common with the creep up than the creep down. On the creep downs, I would guess a minor or a minor 7 at the end. But, send me an example though, and I'll show you whatever the song is you're talking about, what that ends on.
Okay, Will said, I'm trying to use a 2-5-1 in G minor, but it sounds weird. Can you show me that?
Okay. In G minor. So the 2s in a minor key are going to be half diminished. So if you were in G minor and you're trying to use like a regular 2-5-1, like a minor 2 to a dominant 5 to a 1, that's not going to work out as well, because in the key of G minor, we've got that note right there and not that note so much. So in G minor, I would use, instead of an A, C, E, I'd use an A, C, E flat. So that's going to be your 2, and then your 5. Again, we can use either just the regular 5, we can add in the dominant 7, or we can use today's alt chord, which would be the 3 and the flat 3, and then raise your 5 up. And it'd be that right there to a G minor, major 7 if you wanted. So that'd be 2, 5, 1. I hope that answers the question. Next.
I think that's it.
All right, cool. Well, like I said, next week we're doing pop voicings for pop chords. If you like what you're seeing, then please tell a friend. We rely on word of mouth. And if you don't like it, then fill out the survey and let us know what we could improve for you. And we'll see you, I guess, next Wednesday or next Monday if you want to join the beginner's lessons for the pop chords. See ya.